Okay, great. Thank you. Let me get my screen sharing done there. Okay, so everyone can see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So Discount Marketing Products, we are based in Atlanta, Georgia, and we focus on custom printed fabric displays. So anything with that fabric component, we can help you with. That translates into tents, table covers, feather flags, various trade show materials or displays, and we can do customized items too. So essentially, we sell cutting, sewing, and printing capabilities. And I'll go through how that translates into our different products. But briefly, I want to more discuss the DMP difference and what really differentiates us from our competitors. So the biggest item that differentiates us that people love is the customizable products. So what that does is that allows one to print a full color, full coverage print on any one of our products. So the pricing you see is automatically going to include full coverage print. Okay, so you can have logos, multiple locations. You can have PMS color matches, custom backgrounds. So whatever, if you got specific corporate colors that you need to match, we can help you with that, and we can guarantee that color match. So that's very important because a lot of the competitors out there, they can have stock fabrics. So you have to choose specific colors based on the stock fabrics, overlay prints. They complicate it even more by saying different print locations result in different pricing. So really having that full coverage, full color print included in the price makes it a lot easier and really simplifies the process. In addition to that, what we do is we can customize our products. So we have a full catalog, a full website, but essentially, we don't just sell the products on our website. We can actually customize them to suit your needs. So if you want a table cover, that's a different size. If you want a banner, a flagpole flag, we can do that. Right now, what I'm doing for a customer of mine is we have a tire manufacturer that wants to promote their tires in various showrooms, and we're actually doing a custom fabric band that goes around the tire itself that's fully printed. So that's nice, and that really sort of talks to how we can customize different items to suit your needs. So again, the cutting, sewing, and printing capabilities are very important here. What we also do is we like to really turn orders around pretty quickly, in the sense that we get it in our system, we get the artwork approved very quickly. So your order's in production and moving along, and that's another aspect that our customers love. When they send us an order, they get back the artwork proof within 2 business hours, and it just helps the process moving quickly and create and really maintains that momentum. And then, lastly, we offer what we call a client concierge service, where there's always someone to talk to. One can get regular updates on the order process, where it is in the different statuses, delivery dates. We can work with our distributors to make sure that delivery dates and event dates are always met, and there are various ways that we can obviously handle the shipping. So really that communication, that customer-centric approach is very important to us. So what I'm going to do, I've got a presentation here, and I'm going to run through some of the high demand products that we find customers are gravitating to right now. These could be seasonal, but certainly these are the products that we sell the most of, and they give some good examples as to where these differentiating factors apply. So the first product is tents. Now, we sell a lot of tents. Tents is certainly our best seller right now. It being the summer season outdoor events. This sort of started in COVID, where a lot of these events were shifted outdoors. So the tent business really started to pick up sort of towards the middle of last year. But tents are definitely our best seller. Now, again, what differentiates here is the canopy that you see over here includes a full coverage, full color print. Okay, it's on a 600 denier polyester, which means it's a pretty dense fabric. It's got a polyurethane coating, so it actually seals in the print. But in addition to that, it's fire resistant, water resistant, and that's UV protected. So really, you've got these added properties to it. So it's really nice to know that you've got that whole canvas to print on, okay, and you can put whatever you want on there. This one in particular is a hex aluminum frame. Now, the hex aluminum frame, as you can see here, 40 millimeter post and a 1.2 millimeter gauge. That talks about the actual thickness. The width of the post is 40 millimeters, or 1.75 inches. And the gauge is the aluminum wall that actually makes up that hexagonal shape. That's 1.2 millimeter gauge. So really good quality. More importantly, we got a 2-year warranty on the fabric and a 5-year warranty on the hardware. These tents come in a 10 by 10, which is probably the most popular size right now, 10 by 15 and a 10 by 20. Okay, a complete unit that you see here for this price of $869 includes the frame, the printed canopy, and a carry bag. Another added feature are these ABS nylon connectors that you can see on the bottom there. That makes the mechanism very smooth, and so these tents are really popular. And this particular one, I would recommend if you're using it on a regular basis. They're very easy to set up, although I would certainly suggest 2 people do so. It's just a lot easier. I mean, I can set up one on my own, but 2 people is ideal. So, the whole frame probably weighs about 45 pounds, excluding the canopy. So it's not too bad. I mean, it is certainly substantial. So that is one of our best sellers right there.
Really quick, Delon, I just want to jump in because there's a couple things I wanted to say, but I wanted to let you get through this product. So the first thing is I want to jump back. One of the many reasons we work with discount marketing products is that we love the fact that the items include the full color graphics. And that really is huge. There was a time in the not too distant past, and Dad, who's on the call, will remember this, where in Delon for sure, where you had basically, if you look at those flat areas around the perimeter of that tent, those were all different imprint areas. The panels up top were different imprint areas. If you wanted print on all those areas, you were getting into a very complex deal where you were paying setups and run charges for a lot of different locations. So that's huge. The fact that you can do these full color graphics over the entire product. Now, this tent in particular, I can say that we have one for Goodson that we have used and set up at several events. We take them. Sometimes we'll have, a spot on a golf course for, if we've sponsored and we've set it up. I have to say that for me, I've seen a lot of these, and the hex frame and the quality of this thing, and as you mentioned, Delon, just the ease of putting it up and taking it down. Look, I know probably I'm biased a little bit, but I know the one that I've had to use it, and I have put it up by myself. Certainly a lot easier with 2 people, but you can put it up by yourself. And it is really a high quality product. And we've beat ours up pretty good. I've used it for work applications. I've also used it for some things at home. For some parties and things that we've had where we just want some shade. So I can personally vouch for this product being what I feel like is an excellent value. And we, like I said, we've had it for a while and we continue to use it over and over. So.
Okay, great. Any other questions?
Just one quick, I got one. Mm-hmm. Getting the graphics to come out that seamless on that, since those are panels sewn together, can be a little bit of an engineering challenge. Do you, are there people internally that if designs submitted that need to be massaged to get them to come out the way we want them to? Is there any help in that area?
Yeah, so certainly. I mean, we have in-house designers that will help you with that. So if you come up with a basic design or you come up with a pattern, we can put that together so it all is sort of lined up correctly based on the various seams and panels. So so yes, I mean, it's nice to have this continuous print, and I actually have one on one of my samples where we have this sort of big sort of color splash that goes around the entire tent. And my factory is very good at lining up the different panels and artwork scenes to suit.
Thank you.
So, okay. So yeah, any other questions?
Nope, let's roll on.
Okay, great. So what we've done is, you know, we get a lot of requests for kits, and we've taken the different options that apply to really dressing up a tent, and we sort of added them in here. So one can get, you know, sort of a bulk discount on the pricing if they add in these different options. And this is great to really maximize that branding opportunity that you have, you know, for an outdoor event. You know, one needs a table, you got to get a table cover. The feather flag on the left over there really adds to the appeal of the tent and makes it more attractive as well. You've got your full rear wall at the back there, single or double-sided. You've got your half side walls on either side there. Those can be single or double-sided too. And then you've got this overhead banner, which is at the top here. That really increases branding opportunity, increases the branding height, helps you sort of stand out amongst the several other tents that may be there. So again, it's really taking that tent sort of real estate and adding all these other components to it. Now, very importantly, one thing that I need to add is, and I won't go into too much of a technical jargon here, but we can guarantee a color match throughout all these different components. The way we print is called CMYK, and each different component here, like the feather flag here, has a different fabric to the tent full wall, to the tent canopy, to the table cover, and even to the overhead banner. So all of these different fabrics, they absorb colors differently. So, you know, when someone says, well, we print CMYK, you got to be very careful, because what they don't take into account is how the actual fabric absorbs those colors. So you can have different tones. Let's say you want a Pantone 186, which is a red. You know, that red may have a different tone on the table cover to how it looks on the canopy. So what we do is we actually make sure that that red is going to be consistent throughout the full tent. So it's very important that you have that color consistency. When you're talking about specific branding and colors, you want all those components to match. So we can guarantee that. We spend a lot of time doing that, and it involves printing swatches, adjusting CMYK colors and formulas if needs be, but the final result will be everything matching. So that's very important to take note of that.
I would say that's extremely important. And I didn't necessarily know that. I mean, I know that CMYK in and of itself on a single item, we typically are not able to match colors, and I mean, you can get really close but not match necessarily. But to then know that the components can match each other, that is really important, and something that I didn't necessarily think about. So that's good to know.
So what we do is we'll always, you know, as long as we have a Pantone reference, it's important to always have that Pantone reference. We will print swatches based on the CMYK and that particular fabric substrate. And if it doesn't match the color, we'll make adjustments to that CMYK particular to that substrate. So the final result will all look like the Pantone palette.
Yeah.
So we take a lot of time actually making sure that's correct. And again, if you have repeat orders, it's always important to reference your previous order. So I can tell my factory, hey, this is the order that they need to match. And then they'll go back to that same color calibration and even use the same machine for that matter, and make sure that it all looks the same.
Yeah, that's excellent.
So further to that, we have another tent frame option. You know, the one before was a hex.
Hey, Delon, really quick, Brooke asked a good question here, and I think I know the answer, but in along the lines of the color what you just described as sort of the color calibration process, there's not an additional charge, right? That's just how you guys do things, right? If as long as the
Yeah, I mean
preferences are
that's
provided.
all included. We got free setup, PMS color match. I mean that's part of our process. So that adds to the value that we offer.
Very, yeah, very much. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for the question, Brooke. That's a great question.
So now this is also a 10 by 10 frame, but this is a this is a steel frame option. So the one before was a hexagonal shape, which was aluminum. This is a square shape, the profile, and this is steel. Now it comes in either a white or black option, and if you can see there closely, you'll see it's like a speckled coat. That is chip resistant and scratch resistant. So it's unlike the powder coated frames that you may find out there that chip and scratch very easily, and then it starts to degrade the metal. So this is also a very popular item. Now the pricing is a little lower, and that mainly accounts for the frame itself. The canopy is still going to be exactly the same as the previous tent option that I showed you, which is the 600 denier polyurethane coated full color, full coverage printing, PMS color match. So that doesn't change. It's really just the framework on this. This frame essentially weighs the same as the hex aluminum, but you'll notice that the posts on this are 30 millimeters instead of 40 millimeters, which is, equates to about 1¼ inches, although the gauge is the same at 1.2 millimeters. So aluminum has a better strength to weight ratio than steel. So ultimately we can use more aluminum, resulting in the same weight. So that's why the aluminum is slightly wider than the steel would be. But I sell as many steel as I do aluminum. People love this tent because it's a little lower price. You're still getting the full coverage printing. The mechanism is also very smooth. It's got the ABS nylon connectors, as you can see there. So a very smooth mechanism. But one would buy this, say, if maybe they didn't have the same budget, or maybe they weren't using it as often as the hex aluminum frame.
Yeah.
So this is a great alternative.
One thing I was going to, and just to point out here, you're saying this, Delon, is that the canopy is the same on both items. And the one thing that I do want to point out too is everything that you guys do is kind of modular in nature, meaning they can buy, for example, let's say the canopy, let's say they bought the hex frame and the canopy got damaged or something, they can purchase just the canopy. They don't have to purchase the whole thing again. It's kind of plug and play. And the same is true here, right? Like where you can buy the frames, you can buy the canopy separately, you can buy them together, whatever you need.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, the canopy on a steel frame doesn't fit the hex aluminum frame, so you got to stick to the same frames.
Yeah.
But certainly.
But the material is the same.
Yeah, the material same, and that's a good point. What if you sort of talking about the modular aspect of these, this particular frame has a 2-year warranty, and the canopy, that's 2 years as well. But the nice thing about these frames is, if you can see over here, you can see that they're all connected with screws, the components. So it's not like the other frames that actually have the riveted connection. So let's say your tent blows over and one of the tent legs are bent. We can actually just send a new tent leg, and it's very easy just to remove the existing one and replace it with the new one, and then your tent is fixed again. So these tents allow for that. On these other sort of cheaper options where your tent blows over and a tent leg is riveted to the actual frames and various other components, the braces, then you need a new frame.
The whole frame's gone at that point. Yeah.
The whole frame is gone. So this allows, and it's designed this way for easy removal and replacement of parts. Yes.
Excellent.
So any questions on these tents? No. Okay. So again, what we've done is we've just sort of taken that white or black steel frame and you know, we've applied these additional options to it. Prices are pretty much the same, except for obviously the frame itself. And you know what we're finding right now, it seems to be that the white is the more popular option. But you know, between black and white, I would say, you know, you choose the frame color based on maybe what artwork you're going to put on there if needs be. But right now I'm selling a few more whites than I am blacks. Then these are nice options. This is these are tent add-ons. So if you really want to dress up that tent, maximize that branding opportunity there. We've got some great products that allow you to do so. We spoke about the curved overhead banner, which increases your branding by about 5 additional feet, and it doesn't actually hinder the logo on the canopy itself or on the canopy peak. But these tent leg covers are really nice. That again dresses up that tent, you know, so it doesn't look maybe so industrial. It really looks sharp, and it increases the branding opportunity. Helps you really stand out. At the bottom left there, we've got a tent ceiling. So this sort of covers, you know, the internal sort of bracing of the peak itself. And again, maximizes branding opportunity there. So that's nice. It really sort of closes off that whole tent. We've got the billboard overhead banner as well, which is nice. It's just a different take on the curved overhead. And then the valance banner. Now, the valance banner I like because what the valance banner allows you to do, it's basically an extra piece of fabric that sits just below the valance. The valance is a sort of rectangular, horizontal rectangular part of the canopy. And it's a removable piece of fabric. It attaches to each post using Velcro. But what it allows one to do is it allows you to print a specific message that relates to that event that you're doing without having to print that message on your canopy. So if you want, say, a generic canopy with your company logo on, and a website on the valance, but you want to say you have a special that's specific to that event that you are at, you can then purchase and print full color print on the valance banner, and that allows you to communicate that specific message. So it's nice. It just gives you that flexibility to change that messaging when you need to, based on the specific event. And you know, $82, it's a great price. It's the same fabric as we would use on the canopy as well. So yeah, so these are great add-ons to the tents. So any questions before I move on? No, you guys good?
I think we're good. Yeah, I like those add-ons though. Those are great.
No, I like those a lot too. I think I've never even seen those as an option, and I was even kind of having a difficult time even finding it on the website. Not difficult time, I've never really looked for them. And for anybody who's interested and wanted to see what that looks like or how the pricing works or whatever, I'm going to go ahead and put a link in here in the chat box. But you can kind of scroll down, you'll see where it says like the curved overhead banner or the tent canopy, and then once you click on that, it'll take you out to a separate link that that showcases what the pricing would be per the tent size that these would be going on. And they all offer single piece minimums and all that. So that's really, really cool. And I did not know that these were offered with you guys. So that is a fun learning experience for me today.
Yeah, so you know, you go to products on the website, custom tents, and they all there, they're listed there. And you know, the website's very comprehensive, very easy to understand. So and it's got, you know, way more products than I'm showing you. So certainly I would encourage you know, spend the time just to peruse the website a bit and get a feel for the additional items that we offer.
Yep.
So then I'm going to go to table covers. Now, table covers, certainly this is one of our best sellers, and it has been for years. You know, you can't go wrong with a really good looking table cover that allows for full color, full coverage print again. So you can have logos, multiple locations, you can have whatever you want on there. Essentially, the fabric starts off as white, and we print it as full coverage printing. That includes double edge stitching and includes a PVC carry bag. But what really differentiates us from the competitors out there is we simplify buying table covers as much as possible. So the table cover price is based on the size. So for instance, a 6-foot table cover is $155. Now, further to that, one can choose between a non-fitted table cover, a fitted stretch table cover, or a fitted table cover. The price won't change. You have those options available. In addition to that, you can choose between a full back, an open back, or a zipper. So one would have an open back if, say, you're going to be sitting at that table. It's easier to have an open back. One can have a rear zipper if you want to store stuff underneath, you want easy access. You don't necessarily need it on a non-fitted, but on a stretch and a regular fitted, that zipper is really valuable. So all of these options are available to you guys without having to change the price. And customers love that because, you know, it really adds value to the deal where you can say, okay, you choose, well, whatever options you want, this is the price, go mad. I mean, you'll find that a lot of competitors don't do that. So that simplicity is really communicated well in how we sell the table covers.
Yeah, and that's been our experience. I mean, we've had very good luck with the table covers that we've sold, and that simplicity, it definitely helps a lot. I mean, it helps us as much as it does customers, as we mentioned, which you're probably going to talk about, which is the different material types and other things. But I would also say that real quick, out on the website, if you go to the, really even the link that Brett put out there, and you go under products and custom table covers, you click that. He mentioned a couple of things that I'm even kind of learning about as I look here, the double edge stitching and the fitted inside stitching. There are some images. If you scroll down just a little bit, you'll see fabric and material, and it kind of reiterates some of these points, but also shows a couple of images to show you what he means by double edge stitching and fitted inside stitching. So if you're interested in that, check that out.
Yeah, so that's important. Certainly, it really finishes it off nicely. So you know that speaks to more the quality. Now, we do have different fabrics that we can offer for these table covers, and I'll run through them quickly. The Econ fabric, it's a 6-ounce 300 denier polyester. That includes a full coverage, full color print. Okay, it's a digital print, which means that's a direct-to-fabric digital print. So the printer moves in a sort of lateral motion, sort of that's our economy version, essentially. The one I sell the most of is the standard fabric here. That's a 7-ounce 300 denier. That's a full-color dye subprint. So the colors are a little sharper. The transitional colors too, where you're going from, say, a dark color to a lighter color, is much clearer also on the dye sub. And this offers some wrinkle resistant properties, whereas the Econ doesn't, just because the wrinkle resistant properties are added to the fabric afterwards on a fabric that requires a direct to fabric printing. We can't put those properties in there. So that's a coating we put on. Stain resistance is a great option. That's sort of like a liquid repellent. So, you know, you spill wine on it, you can simply just wipe it off. That's a great option. That includes a 7-ounce 300 denier polyester, and that includes the full color dye sublimation print. So stain resistant, I sell a lot of that to people like that feature. And then we have a premium fabric. Now that's our 9-ounce soft knit. It includes a full color digital print. That's also wrinkle resistant. So it's a slightly denser, heavier fabric. That one, it has a slight sheen to it. So if you want, say, something to look a little more metallic, although we can't print metallic colors, the sheen helps bring out those properties too. Stretch elastic polyester. These are very popular. This is a sort of the newer style on the market, and certainly one that I would recommend you use if you outdoors. we have a 7-ounce and a 9-ounce premium fabric on that. I sell more 7-ounce than I do 9-ounce, but that's a great feature as well. So again, just some of the different fabrics that we offer, but really I sell most of the standard fabrics, and the special sort of relates to that one in particular.
Got it. Can these be washed? Can these be machine washed or no?
Yeah, they can. I would suggest just a gentle cycle, wash and dry. Yeah.
Got it.
So, I mean, I have one at home for that my wife uses, the stretch one that covers just the top of the table. We've had that for 2 years, and my kids make a mess, and she washes it every time, and it still looks good. The colors are great. So yeah, I speak from experience in that respect.
So one thing I did want to point out at this stage, and if you wanted to cut to the website, that's fine. But that there are a couple of table cover options that I discovered yesterday on our dry run that I thought were pretty interesting. That everybody knows about kind of the table covers that we see on screen here. But if you click the link that I just put in, it'll take you to the fitted stretch table covers, and you'll see that there are actually stretch toppers for folding tables, for smaller round tables. They've got the round table covers that go to the ground. So there's a few other variations that I think are pretty interesting to consider, especially if you're having events and trying to brand the space. Brett and I just visited an event that I think Justin's on here. We did an event, walked into an event that he was holding, and we've done a lot of things for him. And it's always interesting for us to walk into something though and look around and see all of the branding opportunities that are presented in a situation like that. And then we come to find that there are things that are available to brand tables and chairs, et cetera, that we didn't even know about. So check that out.
Yeah, the crossover table covers are great options. So certainly, there's some nice products out there that are available. So, okay, great. So next one is custom feather flags. Now, again, I sell a lot of these. This is a great product for street level advertising, retail settings, outdoor events. Certainly we spoke about including one of these with the tents. For instance, I sell to, well, I don't sell direct, of course, but distributors sell to Home Depot. They buy these. LD, Lidl buy these too. I've just done a bunch for Tractor Supply that say now hiring. So these are great, very easy to set up, good quality products that come in a single-sided and a double-sided option. The double-sided is a true double-sided banner. So that means you can have different graphics on either side. It's actually 3 layers sewn together with a blockout material in the middle. I certainly would recommend more double-sided options. I sell more double-sided than single-sided. But again, it includes full coverage, full color printing. You've got premium hardware with a lifetime warranty. So carbon fiber poles, carbon steel chrome plated bases. And these bases actually sit on a ball bearing. We've got 2 different types, essentially. The price you see there, the 142, is for a complete unit, single-sided 9-foot. And that includes the ground stake stand, which is this little base over here that penetrates the ground. So that's for soft ground surfaces. But the hard surface cross base is this one, and that we recommend for hard surfaces, asphalt or concrete. We have 4 different sizes of these: 9 feet high, 12 feet, 15 feet, and 17 feet. Again, depending on the application, I don't sell many 17-footers. Certainly 9 and 12 are probably the more popular sizes. And that price includes any one of those different shapes. I like the convex one because you can maximize the space on that. The convex and the blade tend to be the ones that I sell the most of right now. But this is a great product. They really work, and you know, you see them everywhere. Certainly more and more these days. So that's.
And you said,
something
just to clarify,
consider.
you said the ground stake is it's what's standard included, or is it a choice of the ground stake in the hard surface?
So the price you see there includes a ground stake stand. If you want the cross base instead of a ground stake, then there's a slide up charge.
Got it.
Or you know, if you're getting both bases, then you have to buy an additional base.
Right. And then you and I had a conversation. I apologize. Go ahead, DeLon.
Yeah. So you know, you have to include a base. So we include the ground stake in that price.
Got it. You and I had a conversation, and this is actually something. And Justin, again, call you out again. We talked about this. I had asked you about is when necessary for these things to display the messaging, and you responded to me and said, and I'm just going to probably jog your memory here. You might explain it better than I can. You said that they all have horizontal support, so they don't require wind to display the print. And so that was actually something that I didn't think much about until I actually saw them in use. And so if you could talk about that for just a second to make sure that you explain it better than I did.
Let me jump in here real quick too. This thing on the lifetime warranty on the hardware, that's a big deal. The point of failure on these things is that ground stake. And it can be a real problem. So with that lifetime guarantee, that's pretty valuable.
Yeah, so certainly. I mean, you know, obviously it does include negligence, but you know, these are really, really well-made products. They're not just going to fall apart. Certainly not. And we take extra care to make sure that we add that quality. So, for instance, you know, this tip here, well, one of the weak spots that you see on other banners is that the pole sort of pokes through. We have PVC. We have PVC plastic in there, so it's PVC reinforced tips we call it. So you know, really that added feature. But yeah, as far as you know, these banners are designed to always sort of display, and that's done by this pole here. There's a channel in the fabric for the fabric side. The fabric here, this is a pole channel, essentially pole pocket more so. And the pole sort of is guided through. So the pole really goes to the tip of the flag itself. So all of this is supported. So that banner is always spread out. You know, even on the horizontal one, we actually have, or sorry, the rectangular one, we have a horizontal pole here too. So you don't need wind to make sure that these display.
Yeah.
And the thing with the ball bearing is very important. So these things are designed to always turn with the wind. So they'll always be parallel to the wind, you know, take the path of least resistance. And that's why that ball bearing is very important. So if you buy ones that don't have a ball bearing, what's going to happen is you're going to have these wind shear forces, and it's just going to eventually degrade the banner. Whereas on this, you won't have that because it's spinning accordingly. So that's why I say a double-sided is nice, because you always it always reads correctly from any angle.
DeLon, this is Justin. So you're saying if I use my new feather banners as javelins, you're not going to guarantee the hardware?
I mean, I'd like videos on that, but I'm not going to guarantee the hardware.
No, we're really excited, and you spoke exactly. You guys spoke exactly, Landon, to what I was talking about. Is we purchased some of these, and I got them, and they were, I mean, they just fold in at the bottom without wind, and it kind of renders them pretty useless. So really excited about this.
Well, and in addition, you know, I noticed that they were blown over, and that's why I was, you know, again, I mean, we learn on the fly with some of this stuff. And what's so interesting to me about this whole space, I know we're coming up against time, but is this, you know, we spend so much of our time on just design and products that function isn't something we have to be too terribly concerned about on a lot of the things that we sell. But I mean, I already had a great appreciation for you, DeLon, your team, the company, but I'm gaining a whole new appreciation just listening to you talk about the thought that's been put into how you've designed these things from a functional standpoint, and just the little considerations that have been made from a design and quality standpoint, like being able to replace components and tints. And then you're talking about some of the things here. And then you mentioned that, so the blown over ones, Justin, I was like, well, how do you deal with that? And he said, in addition to the standard teardrop, or if you want, you know, the different bases, that they have an optional water weight bag that can sit on top of the hard surface, so that cross base, if you need additional support to try to keep them from blowing over. Am I remembering that right, Don?
Yeah, yeah, correct. So I would, you know, the water weight bag is specifically designed to sit on the hard surface bases. And you know, they're not necessary on, say, the 9-foot or the 12-foot, but certainly if you're putting out a 15-foot, which can be pretty top heavy in that respect, I'd say, you know, buy a water weight bag too. It adds another 25 pounds to it, and it's sort of centered on top of that base. So that's a great option if you're putting it outside on asphalt or concrete on the higher banners. Yes.
Yep. Excellent.
So yeah, I mean, you know, again, these banners aren't going to blow over because they turn with the wind. Those ones that you see that blow over are the ones that where the ground stake is actually just has a sleeve and it's just sitting there. So it prevents the pole from turning, and then eventually it's just going to blow it over.
Got it.
So then I'm going to talk about some display products quickly. These are great. This one in particular, these are sort of banner walls that we call them. Now this is our straight fabric displays. We have a curved one and we have a C-shaped one that you can find on the website. But certainly the straight ones are the more popular options. So this incorporates aluminum tubing that connects together to form the framework, and then the fabric fits over it like a pillowcase. This includes a two-sided print. Again, you're getting full coverage, full color printing. So you have that entire surface to print on. And what makes this nice is you're getting that two-sided print, but one can change the graphic at any time. So if you want to change your messaging, all you need to do is just purchase a new graphic and you've got a whole new banner. In addition to that, there are various sizes. We've got, they come in sort of between 2 feet wide and 20 feet wide. The standard height is usually about 89 inches high, but we can customize the size on this. So this speaks to our customization abilities, where we can actually make any size you want. You say, well, I want one that's 30 inches wide by 72 high. We can make that for you. There are no minimums. So again, there are no minimums on any of our custom stuff. So if you just want one unit, you can buy one unit. We'll make it. So the customization aspect is great because you won't find that with other suppliers out there. You have to buy what's in their catalog. So this is great. Trade shows, you know, you got showrooms, you put this in the showroom. I know Dunkin' Donuts has they have a 36-inch by 72 in their stores, and you know, every time I go in there, that's a different graphic that they put up. So they're communicating different messages, but that framework can be reused. So this is a great option. It breaks down very easily into a carry bag that you see over there. And the carry bag's about 30 inches long. So no component is longer than 30 inches. So you can carry it, you can take it to trade shows. One person can set this up on their own, no problem. So this is a great option, and this is newer on the market. So, you know, any questions on that?
I just had a quick comment.
Oh,
Landon a few minutes ago had mentioned something about the quality. The way we view suppliers is no different than our clients view us. And if we have to worry about, you know, how a product's going to perform, that's an issue. But if we can turn our back on a sale and know it's going to come out correct, then that's going to transition to our clients. So that's important.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, and you know, quality is, you know, price is important, but that quality for us is very important because, you know, at the same time, we want to sell a product that's not going to come back and bite us down the line. So we stand by it, and you know, we stand by the removal and replacement of parts. All of these products you see allow for that, and it's very easy then sending a new part if needs be, than having to replace a whole new product. So,
right. Yeah.
So This is a retractable banner. This is another sort of display item. You know, these have been around for a long time. We have the standard base over there on the left, which includes the swivel feet. We have the premium base, which is more a sleeker, slightly more finished base. But you know, again, this includes full coverage, full color print, so you can have whatever you want on there. It's a 600 denier polyester with a dye sublimation print, so really clean quality printing. But what differentiates us essentially is that we actually use a fabric substrate instead of a PVC or a vinyl. The fabric doesn't crimp, it doesn't scratch, it you know, it doesn't crease. So it adds to the durability of the banner itself. So that's really just a differentiating factor. Now, the one thing about these is that, you know, once it's in there, once the graphics in there, you can't really replace it. You know, the price does sort of reflect that, but that's the only sort of downfall or the shortfall on this particular product. But we sell a bunch of these, so so that's sort of a go-to. But I like the previous one that I showed that allows for that graphic change, and it's two-sided. And then sort of heading towards the end, we, you know, outdoor, indoor flag, pole flags, we sell a lot of these. You can see all the different sizes that we offer. We have different fabrics that we can use. We can customize the sizes on that. You know, this has the grommets in canvas header. This one has a pole pocket option, single or double-sided. Now, again, a double-sided includes the true double-sided banner. So, you know, 3 layers sewn together with a block-out material. But we can do customized sizes. We can do, you know, just regular, you know, fabric banners that you want to hang indoor, outdoor. Fence mesh polyester fence banners that are going to sit, say, on a baseball field for an extended period of time. We can help you with all of that stuff, and that talks about our customization capabilities. And we have numerous fabrics that we can offer based on various applications that you may have. So we can work with you to determine the most effective way and most effective fabric too.
I've got a quick question on these. I've always been told that double-sided flags are a little too heavy to really work in anything but a very stiff wind. Have you found that to be true?
You know, that is true depending on what fabric they use. So yes, with these flags, we got to take into account that it's going to be outdoors for an extended period of time, and you can't use the heaviest, most durable fabric because, you know, this thing's going to be too heavy. It's not going to fly in the wind. So what we actually do is we use our go-to fabric is called 115-gram knitted polyester. It's a light fabric, but the knitted structure makes it very strong. So even on a double-sided with a block-out material, it works great because, yeah, you know, you got to, it's a very delicate balance between finding a fabric that's durable but not too heavy. So our fabric, the 115-gram, is a great option for this, and I sell a lot of these, double-sided mainly for that matter, and they work fine. I wouldn't go for a heavier fabric, but this fabric is that perfect in between. In addition, something to point out is we do double-edge stitching on the top and the bottom. But on the fly edge, which is this edge here, we actually do quadruple edge stitching. So it really closes and seals in that flag. So that's a great option, and I'll sell a bunch of these.
So the minimum on these is 1 piece?
1 piece, correct.
I'm going to have to order one of these for myself to try out the double-sided flag. You got me really curious now.
Yeah, we'll put your face on it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, order
No,
one.
I'm sorry, we'll
That'll
put Brett's
keep your
face on
neighbors away.
it.
Yes, just order 1 piece. We'll take care of you. And then, you know, just to finish it up, these are some additional items just that we've introduced this year. Custom floor mats. Again, these are padded floor mats, all custom printed. You can do any size you want. I mean, this particular one is a 4x6, but you can customize the size. Chair back covers are really popular right now too. Again, cutting, sewing, printing capabilities, we can make any size you want. This one in particular is an 8x16, but we can customize that, and it's full coverage printing, full chair covers. This pop-up display podium is really nice. It's a little sort of oval podium that actually has a spring mechanism, and it just pops up and you can push it down again. Really easy to set up, includes a full coverage print. We have the floor standing grid banners. We have a tabletop grid banners, and these come in different configurations. This is just one example. So we can do various sizes and shapes on those. Barrier covers are popular as well. If you want some branding space and events or so, the barrier covers work nicely too. So yeah,
so real quick, I just want to point out Mike Wolf, who's on the call. He just did the floor standing grid banner, I believe, and he sent me an image of it. I don't have a good way to show it, and we're really up against time, but he's been he commented here to everybody, and he's been very happy with it, which Alex helped him on. So thanks for that order, Mike, obviously, and then the endorsement of that product. So
okay, great. And yeah, I mean, that's all from my side. Just quickly, again, if you have time, the website's very easy to use. We've got a bunch of products there that you'd find, car related products, custom flags. This is a great option. This backpack banner, for instance, for events, it's just something different that we offer. So that's really nice too. I sell a lot of these podium banners. These come with strings and dowel rods, and so that's another popular banner. So I got regular orders from a customer for these bunting flags too, that we sell. So yeah, I mean, there's vast products that we have, and again, everything includes that fabric component.
Yeah, no, the last point I'll make about these floor grid banners and the top grid, those are modular too, meaning, and as I understand it, you can buy different panels. So those are like that floor standing grid banner on the screen's 3 panels. You can swap out panels. We're really long, so I want to, and I know some people are jumping off. So Delon, I cannot thank you enough for this. I mean, we really appreciate your partnership. I think this has been great information. I know I learned a lot. Really quickly, for the folks on the call, some of them have left, but this is one of the gifts. Here, I'll try to show them really quickly. Those of you on the call have received or will receive a gift pack for our second quarter partner series that includes, first and foremost, and most importantly for our purposes today, this desk flag, which we didn't look at in the presentation, but is also pretty cool. Hopefully you get an idea of the size of this thing by me holding it. It just sits on the desk. It's really cool. It's a way to brand some of those tables as well, or just, this is a really cool product. So you're going to get one of these. And then separately, our partner series guest for next month and for June, if I'm getting Q2 right, will be this pair of socks that you're going to get, as well as a kind of retro bottle tumbler, which we're excited about. So like I said, don't worry. If you didn't get this, you will. We appreciate your time here today. So listen, I'm going to let everybody go. Next month, Brett, who is it next month? It is ETS Express is our, which this product is from, which you're going to be getting. But everybody, thanks again for your time. Delon, thank you so much. And we look forward to sending you a bunch of business.
Great. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Take care.
Take care.
Everybody have a great day.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.